Yes guys, welcome from me, this is Championship Manager 0102, the Game On Challenge, and I've been so far behind on updates, just strap in, get ready for a bumpy ride here. It's actually been 4 seasons since I last updated a YouTube video. Now that's a cross between, I've not been able to get to do a video as frequent as I'd like, but also because we've been fucking firing out sessions like they're going out of fashion. There's going to come a time when me and Matt don't get the sort of time that we've had of late. There are reasons why we've had the time, but all good things do come to an end. So cast your mind back then to the previous part, which was part 75. The year was 2083, and I was in charge of, just cast your mind back, because it was so long ago, but I was in charge, excuse me, of Plymouth. Excuse me. So I was in charge of Plymouth, having got the job, in terms of leaving Brazil. I do say that there is a lot to go through, so just brace yourself. So I was Plymouth. Matt had just moved to Flamengo. That was where we were at. Now, as you can imagine, in 4 seasons, so much has happened. So let's start then. We'll start with Plymouth. You're going to probably see maybe some spoilers along the way. So Plymouth, you can see I'm not Plymouth. So let me tell you where we finished with Plymouth. We actually finished 8th. Oh, you knew that, actually, thinking about it. Yeah, you knew that. I finished 8th and runners-up in the FA Cup. So we started the new season with Plymouth and we had an absolute horrendous start. And now, I kid you not, right, our start weren't just a bad start. Actually, being a bit harsh on myself there, because we were 6th. We were 6th in the table. There was a weekend that went by, and I didn't have a game. We stayed 6th, and I went on the list as slightly insecure. In fact, I don't think it was slightly insecure. I think it was just insecure. I was like, what the fuck? Now, things like that really bugged me. So the bottom line is, I was looking for a route out of Plymouth. I think, I did not want the sack to my name. We won a game and it went off the list, but that told me that you can go on the list unexpectedly, as unexpected as you can coming off it, blah, blah, blah. So, fuck that. I was not going to be a part of that. Matt was enjoying life at Flamengo. But for me, I couldn't deal with this shit. I could not deal with it. So, a job came up. A job did come up, and we left. Are you ready? Are you ready? We returned to Brazil. Believe it or not, we returned to Brazil for quite a, what do you want to call it? Quite a successful period, to be honest with you. You've already gathered that we are no longer Brazil, but we returned to Brazil on the 26th of November, before leaving 2 years later. So a good 2 years in Brazil. And it would be fair to say is we did well. We did very, very well. And we built, it's funny really because with Brazil, you've got so many restrictions and stuff. There's so many games. I mean, I didn't realise, to be honest with you, that until I was told recently, that Copa Mercosa, and if I don't pronounce that correctly, tough shit, that is a hard-coded competition. It's the same teams in that. They were in that. I was in the Libertadores as well. Now, little did I realise that if you're in the Libertadores, you don't go in the Brazilian Cup. So it was quite bizarre. It's quite a bizarre one, and of course you can only have 3 non-Brazilians in your squad. So we had what I feel was a very, very successful 2 years. 2 years. Okay, so before we tell you where we're currently at on our recent chapter, let's go to Matt then. So Matt was at Flamengo. Now, to be fair to Matt, he wasn't at Flamengo for long, and he. God, they were in a bad season, didn't they? Fucking hell. Well, they've had a terrible in the Nationals. Jeez. The bottom line is, I don't think Brazil's for Matt. Matt don't like Brazil. I don't think he likes it. There's too many. I mean, there is a lot of bullshit on it. There's an awful lot of bullshit. So I get that he don't wanna. That he didn't want to stay. So in terms of Matt, I think I know he won that state championship, and I think that's pretty much it. I think he went after that because. Let me think. I'm trying to think. Do you know what? It was over here, weren't it? It was over here. I think. Yeah, so cast your mind back then. So, in 83, yeah, Matt won it, didn't he? It was bullshit. That was right. I'm just trying to think back. So, Matt won it. Matt eventually ended up leaving. And the job came. Are you ready? You ready? Matt went to Sunderland. Now, to be honest with you, right, this wasn't the most successful period for Matt. He went on the list also. I left Plymouth, and then I think he signed for Plymouth. He signed for Sunderland whilst I was still at Plymouth for a little bit. But it was a very, very tough time for Matt at Sunderland. And I think the biggest issue he had. Now get this right. We played this game when Matt took over Sunderland. How much money did he have in the bank? I don't know, 200 million, 300 million. And it was about sort of like 350 million pounds, 400 million. But it wasn't the greatest. They did win the season last season. That weren't Matt. I should point out, Matt, did you even know they won the season? They won the league. Matt finished, as you can see, he finished third, and then he finished fifth. Now, I think finishing fifth was, topped off his season, really, because it was horrendous to finish fifth. He started the 86-87 before leaving. But he couldn't offer wages of... In his first season, he had money, but he couldn't offer wages of 35 grand or above. So it made it very difficult. Everybody was getting unhappy. Players were fueling moves. Everybody was hating everybody. He was having an absolute horrendous time. And he left Sunderland. And in all fairness, he probably left Sunderland for the very same reason as me. No doubt about it. It was for the same reason as me. Yeah, so Matt has left Sunderland, and I don't believe you'll ever see either of us back in England again. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. So, where did Matt go to? Well, are you ready? Where did Matt go to? This is Matt's latest chapter. He has returned to a club, and no, it is not Dortmund. Matt has returned to Paris Saint-Germain. He took over, let's have a look when it was he took over. But he took over, we can have a look, and I've gone completely wrong on how I should have done it. It weren't too long ago. Or it's about a year. I didn't realise it was a year. So he took over a year, and they were bottom of the table in the bottom three. And he steadied his ship to finish third. Now, what a fucking bizarre first season it was for them, because they finished third. And I'm going to show you who they missed out to in terms of why they finished third and who finished second. But they finished third, and it was a top two for the Champions League. Now, bizarrely, at the turn of the update, the coefficients updated, and their France allocation went to 3 in the Champions League. So Matt is in the Champions League with Paris Saint-Germain. We said about money, didn't we? It was ridiculous. Well, you could not fucking script it any more ridiculous than what it was. It was £1 billion at Paris Saint-Germain, over £1 billion. He sent me a screenshot. Where the fuck does that money come from is beyond me. Funny thing is, Paris Saint-Germain's finances have been really fucked up when you look at it from a non-human perspective. When it's an AI, one day it's rich, then it's secure. Rich, secure, rich, secure. It's fucking ridiculous. But he's had £1 billion. And there you see who I am. Whoops. And I've moved to Roma. Now, I've not returned to Roma. This is my first stint as Roma, I should point out. I wanted to go to a team that I hadn't been before. Roma ticked all the boxes. And we won the title. And we won the cup. So far, so good. Well, what can I say? It's a new part of the challenge. The most important thing for me is that Roma was a new team. That was the most important thing. It was a new challenge. A couple of 100 million, good stadium. It's Italy, there's no restrictions, anything like that. A lot of players unhappy as well for me. It's been a bit of a fucking nightmare, to be honest with you. But I'll go through our signings in a minute. So that is me. That is me. Let's just go back to Paris Saint-Germain then. So I've got to show you who he finished second to last season, because this is fucking bullshit. Absolutely bizarre. Well, they're currently rock bottom. Now, who the fuck are Albi? Who the fuck are Albi? They finished second, and bizarrely, not only did they finish second, but look at their stadium. Absolutely outrageous. And just to show you that they finished second last season, there you see. So they are currently in the Champions League, because I think they're in my group. They are for the second phase. So that is Matt. So let's go back to me then. So we almost had a fair... Oh, no, I was going to look at now. I was going to show you when we took over. I couldn't remember what it was I was going to go to. So we took over just over a year. Do you know, it's flown by a year already. So we won the league, we won the cup, and we would have won the Champions League. We would have. But in the most stunning circumstances, a team that finished 8th in Belgium took it from us. And we lost it. So, yeah, we lost the Champions League. We did win the cup. We won the league. And that's that. So, let's have a look now then at some of the notable signings from myself and Matt for this season at our new clubs. For me, Ibrahim Syed, solid player. Ian Collins, I think you can all work out who that's got to be. That can only be the one, the only, Neville Southall. But I think I've learnt he's not ready for first team action. He came in because my main goalkeeper was injured. Stoichkov, I believe. Mark Higgins, now. Oh, God, we've had some fun with Mark Higgins. Harry Kewell regen. He's been an absolute nightmare to get, but we finally got him. I got him on a double deal with Hesp as well. Dimitrov, I don't know who he's a region of. And Junior was our last player. So that was, they're my players in preparation. And we already sport a very strong squad. Matt was Roma about 5-6 years ago. So there's a few players that are still lined up here. Oliver Kahn regen, he was pretty fucking amazing. Boss. In fact, I've shown you my 7 signings. Let me show you my 7 before that then, when we took over. Dwight York regen. Ruggiero. Lillian Thuram regen, very good. Liam Burke, no clue who he is. No, I'm talking about either Kieran Dyle, Steven Gerrard. We went to Plymouth for a player. Now I knew I got this player at Plymouth because I thought he looked so fucking good. Dryson was another one. Okay, so over to Matt then. Let's have a look at Matt and who he's been buying. Let's look at his 7 last season then. Craig Payne, very good player. That's either Stuart Pearce or Gareth Barry. Divisha, I don't think he'll be very pleased with him, to be honest with you. 7-0. Defence is so difficult in the ODB, as a lot of people already know. Vargas, again, defence, look at that. 6-6-2 is fucking awful. Matt can't believe that, I'd say. Dennis Rodriguez, not bad at all from Rodriguez. Corneliuson. Let me just check something. I was looking at a player called Corneliuson, but I thought that was him, but clearly not. He's not done really great, has he? Now, the interesting thing, right, when Matt took over, the transfer window in France, as you all know, is a little bit messed up. It sort of closes, and then it stays open where you can buy one more player until January. And then in January, it's open for another week, 2 weeks, where it's open normally, then it closes. Matt had that issue, so that's why Matt sort of, he got the first player he got in, what was that? Did he get, no, he wouldn't have got Burton, would he? Matt couldn't even buy anybody. He couldn't buy anybody, that was it. So it opened, the 24th for the 12th, it opened, and then he got a few more in, he had to rush them through, so he got them all in. This season, Washington Rocha, very, very good midfielder. Look how well he started. 8-3-9. John Walker, I'm guessing. Matt said Mark Kerr. I think Barry Ferguson. Either way, what a rock midfielder. Fraser Johnston. Well, actually, in actual fact, that must be the other one. I'm guessing. Do you know what? I didn't even pay attention to that. So he must have them both, I'd say. One of them's got to be Barry Ferguson. Thomas Samir. Look how brutal he's been. Gerard Cox, looking solid. Marino Ortiz, superb. And Todd Schweitzer. Absolutely beast. Real proper beast. So we're off and running. We're off and running for the new season. And there you see that's me. Bit of a tough old start, to be honest with you. And for Matt, as you probably just saw, Matt equally hasn't had the easiest start in the world. Nantes came available. And it was interesting, really, because what happened is no sooner did Matt take the Paris Saint-Germain job, the job that came available was Roma. Now, I knew Roma should come available because their manager, believe it or not, was 66. Now, I thought a manager always retired at 64, 65. And 2 jobs came available. 2 managers retired. I say retired. I think it says sacked on the landmarks. But it was Roma and Inter. Now, I didn't really want Inter because I'd been them before. I would have gone to Inter if Roma didn't come up, but they both came up. Matt was furious because he misses out. The downside Matt's got of being in France, particularly ahead of me, particularly with me being in Italy or Germany, is Matt's made his 7 signings, as I have. Now, after my window closes at the end of January, I can then start bidding for players who won't come through until July next year. Matt can't do that because Matt's window is going to be reopened in June before the update, so he's not going to be able to do that. What Matt can do, though, is when the unprotected window closes on the 15th of January, he can bid for players unprotected. Their deals won't go through till the 1st of July next season when that window opens. So, what can I say? Season 87. The last thing I will quickly go to before I fuck off and leave you. That's me. That's Matt. And overall, Matt, you see, he really went into decline. Now, you can't say going to Brazil does this. I think it's fair to say going to Russia did do this to me. It harmed him. But when I was in Brazil with Cruzeiro, I stayed on top the whole time, or within world class. Matt's just had a really tough time. He's down to very good. He's down to 51 in the world. I don't say it's 51 in the world. I say it's joint 35, personally. And that is it, guys. That is the Game On Challenge. An update for you. A long overdue update. Until next time from me, guys, take it easy.